Here we go now with the Mets. They will be a very interesting team to keep an eye on all year long. Eddie C. will do that. Eddie Coleman's our pal. And he says hello. You'll see him here in a sec. There he is. Eddie, welcome. As usual, it's a pleasure. Eddie, of course, the dean of there you go, the dean of Met coverage here in the metropolitan New York area. All right, Eddie, let's do Lindor first. You know, he doesn't seem like he's in love, just by the quotes. He doesn't seem like he's in love with getting a contract done by opening day. Now, I don't know if that's that big a deal based on, you know, the deep pockets of ownership, but it doesn't seem like this is a Tatis scenario where this could be done in 14 days. Let's start there. Go ahead. Let me hear.
Well, he was as definitive yesterday, Chris, as I've heard him thus far in wanting a contract done. He said for the first time, really, that I'll go to free agency if it's not done by the end of spring training. Now, I'm not necessarily sure I believe that, and I do think that the Mets and he are going to come to an agreement before the end of spring training. I do believe that, but at the same time, that was as definitive as I've heard him thus far in saying that, listen, I want to win ball games. I want to concentrate on what I'm doing here, and I don't want to have to worry about the contract. Now, it's not really him that has to worry about the contract. It's the agent and it's the ball club. So I think negotiations could go on during the season if it doesn't get done. But I'm pretty confident they will get something done by the end of spring training.
I know if they were offering you $300 million, Eddie, and there was a little bit of a delay, you'd live with it. I can tell you that. I mean, the same thing
Guaranteed.
goes. I mean, this spring training deadline is the dumbest thing in the world. These players don't want to be distracted. Distract me with that kind of money. I'll figure out a way to play. All right, how about how about the scenario with Conforto? I know the agent, may not be as obliged to sign a deal by opening day. What's the story with him in right field? Let me hear.
I think that's a little bit different. I think that that may be something that happens during the season. Listen, I think Michael Conforto wants to stay here. He has said several times, Scott Boras is his agent. We know that. But as he said several times, Scott Boras works for me. It's not the other way around. I think he enjoys it here. I think he likes his place on the team and in the team. He's one of the leaders of this team, along with Lindor and DeGrom. So I think Michael Conforto wants to stay here. He's grown as a player. I thought he had his best season last year in a shortened season, and I expect more of the same from him this year. So I'm pretty confident that Conforto will be here, but I'm not necessarily sure it's going to be done that quickly.
All right, the back end of the Met rotation, we know where they're okay. I'm assuming Carrasco might miss a week, but, he'll be there in that front end. Where do we stand with those fourth and fifth starters, especially the fifth, Eddie? Where do you stand right now, 2 weeks to go?
Yeah, I still think David Peterson is the guy to beat there. He didn't have a great outing his last time out. His last inning was very good, 1-2-3 inning. He was kind of shaky at the beginning, but he's got a lot of poise. He has a lot of maturity. They like David Peterson a lot, and there's a lot of reasons to like him. I think he's going to be the fifth starter. They also have Jordan Yamamoto. They have Joey Lucchesi. But those guys are depth guys to me. I think that they'll see action sometime during the season. They're going to be dropped into the rotation, but I think those guys, along with a couple of other guys that they have, I think are going to be dropped in there as well, too. So, but I think Peterson is going to be the guy. Carrasco may or may not be ready at the start of the season, but he could be ready by, say, April 7th, which is when the Mets are going to need a fifth starter at that point. So giving him that little extra time may help him.
All right, J.D. Davis at third base. You confident there or no?
Well, I think JD has made improvements. I think he's more set in his pre-position now at third base, and I think he's more comfortable there. He was probably playing a little bit too deep last year. I think a lot of it is going to depend on Lindor and the two guys that surround him, McNeil at second base and Davis at third base. On paper, to me, Chris, when you look at the Mets infield, it's not a great infield on paper. Alonso at first, McNeil, Davis, Lindor, but it's an infield that I think that can get the job done and can improve in time. And a lot of that depends on Lindor and how he kind of blends with the other guys. But JD has made improvements there. He's got a great arm, and I think if he can handle that and handle the shift a little bit, he'll stay on the third base side during the shift. If he can do all that, I think he's going to be fine. He's a good athlete. And I think one thing they do have to worry about a little bit is going back on balls, he and Lindor. Dom Smith is in left field. Brandon Nimmo's in center field. Both those guys are going to play deep, and I think that they're going to have to cover a lot of ground in that shallow left field, shallow center field, along with McNeil to cut off some hits there. So that could be something that they're going to have to work on.
And Dom Smith is not, Barry Bonds on left field, and there's not going to be a DH. So from that, unless it's a last-second agreement, which I doubt. So as a result there, you're going to see Dom Smith out and left. And you don't want his defense to affect his offense. He's very important with that left-handed bat. Defensively, can he be average enough? What's your take there?
Yeah, no, I think he can. I think Dom's a quick learner. He's got a great glove. Now, again, he's a very good first baseman. He's not there. He's going to be playing the outfield. He's going to log most of his time in left field. Defensively, late in games, he may switch over to first base. But Dom's got a great bat, and they need that bat in the lineup. And he's going to be a regular in left field. So can he get better? Yeah, I think he already has gotten better out there. He's not going to be a guy that kills you, but he'll be a guy that probably will give up a few runs here and there, but he can make that up with his bat too.
All right, last thing, Eddie, and that's the Mets with listen, they've always had a lot of expectations, but always something gets in the way. I think their over-under number is way too high at 91. I think I got to see that before I'm going to sign off on it. They should be good, but you never know with this Mets team. We've gotten this path a lot in the last 6-7 years, and they disappoint. Why would this year be different?
Well, I think it's a very tough division. So that, and I agree with you on the number, that getting there is going to be tough because I think every team, including Miami, is kind of better this year. How good the Phillies are and the Nationals are, injury-wise, et cetera, and revamping, we'll see. But Atlanta's going to be good, and Miami is coming on as well, despite the short sample that they had last year. So that works against them a little bit. It's a very tough division, but I do feel that they have the people in the clubhouse to get this done. DeGrom is, to me, the best pitcher in baseball. They have a good rotation behind him. I think that Carlos Carrasco makes a huge difference to have a guy there that can be your number 2 guy, and then Marcus Stroman right behind him. If Stroman's here he wasn't here at all last season. He had a half season before that. And Diaz has looked very good at the end of games. I think he's turned a corner. If that holds and that's going to be a key, then I think they're going to be in good stead. They'll score enough runs. They have enough offense to do some damage. Pete Alonso looks great right now, so this can be different for them this year. And listen, they were a disappointment last year. There's no question about that. They scored enough runs and did enough things. They should have made an expanded playoff field. They didn't. It was a disappointment. They have that to make up. I think they can make it up this year.
Good job, Eddie. Always a pleasure. We love you. We'll keep in touch. Thanks very much here today, pal.
All right, Chris. Have a good day. See you.